Now, to the point in the show I was dreading the most is my Pittsburgh Steelers losing to the Seattle Seahawks 31-17 yesterday. And, I have to say, I did call this from a mile away throughout the week and on Friday's show. I picked Seattle to win the game, obviously to cover, but I picked Seattle to win straight up. But there was this, and there tends to be this, folks. It's classic example. Doesn't it always seem like the prettiest girl or the best looking guy always get the other? What I mean by that is aesthetics will take you a long way in and of themselves from an eye candy perspective. And that applies to this because, boy, Aaron Rodgers still throws a gorgeous football. Man, he fools a lot of people on a consistent basis. Boy, Aaron's back. Look at him wheeling and dealing against the Jets. Look at him throwing darts. Look at him with the old man celebration. Only thing was missing was the old discount double check, but he's not with State Farm anymore, so that might be copyright. But man, Aaron's back. He's about to have a Tom Brady 40-something-year-old season right off of the sunset. Steelers are going to win a playoff game. They might threaten Baltimore for the division. Watch out. And I said, folks, a lot of that is, the Jets aren't very good. We saw that play itself out yesterday with their matchup against Buffalo. A lot of that was Arthur Smith, to his credit, called a great game in the sense of, Aaron, get the ball to your hands quickly. Let's limit the penalties. We got to play ahead of the sticks because this offensive line is absolutely, positively dreadful. And Aaron yesterday, the offensive line wasn't as good, and he struggled.
You done messed up, Aaron!
We can show you his numbers because Aaron did mess up. This is what he did yesterday against the Seahawks. 1 touchdown, 2 picks. The first one in his defense was not his fault. Calvin Austin tipped the ball. That was not on Aaron Rodgers. The second one was pretty ugly. 203 passing yards. Some of that he got in garbage time. 54% completion. That's bad. 58 rating is atrocious. That's part of the reason Lamar Jackson actually passed him yesterday in the all-time passing yards rankings list. He had a QBR 0 to 130. Not good. And the Pittsburgh Steelers scored a grand total of 3 second-half points. They got a field goal in the second half in totality. Now, again, in Aaron's defense, not all of that is on him. Because when he is taking the snap immediately against, by the way, a great Seahawks D-line, Leonard Williams, DeMarcus Lawrence, Seahawks D-line has some dudes. But the second the guy takes snaps, he's got pressure coming around the left side, almost like Dan Moore would have helped you out. Almost like, actually addressing the offensive line for the first time in the Mike Tomlin era and developing an O-line might have actually helped the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's really what I want to talk about. The fact that Aaron is not very good, the fact the Steelers' offensive line is dreadfully bad, the fact that they can't run the ball, I expected that. I knew that coming into the season. The fact that Aaron, after the game, kind of took a shot at receiver, Calvin Austin, we're already in that early process. Aaron's taking shots at people. We're 2 games in. Just wait till it gets to week 8. It's going to get ugly. I expected all of it. Last week against the Jets was a shock. It was not the norm. I want to talk about Mike Tomlin. Because for years, you were considered pretty much a bad person if you pointed out the fact that, the non-losing season thing doesn't really matter when you haven't won a playoff game in almost a decade. And by the way, in all those playoff games, we can show the numbers. In the last 5 playoff games, you've been bludgeoned to start. Mike Tomlin, Mr. Motivator as a head coach, right? Standard is the standard. Yeah, they were down 21-0 to Blake Bortles on the Jags, lost that game at home off of a bye. In 2020, they were down 28-0 to the Browns without their head coach. 2021 down 35-7 to the Chiefs. 2023 down 21-0 to the Bills. And maybe most alarmingly, a team you always play close games. Steelers-Ravens is always close. It's always decided by a field goal. Down 21-0 to the Baltimore Ravens in that playoff game. So this whole Tomlin, he's Mr. Motivator. No, he's not. Let's get that. Maybe he was. He's not anymore. Now he's not even a good defensive coach. Tomlin's calling card. Motivator, great defense. Well, the motivator, that's been nonsense for some time. The great defense is as well. First of all, can we show some of the numbers on Tomlin? Do we have this? Do we have the numbers on Mike Tomlin? Okay, so here's one of the. This is, again, more of an indictment of the offense and the fact that they can't develop an offense under Mike Tomlin. But add it to the list. When the Steelers allow 30 or more points, 7-42. Since Big Ben retired, 1-9. And the 2017 playoff loss to Jacksonville, 1-19. Again, that's when the Steelers allow 30 or more points. Here's the worst stat. It's one thing for the offense to be bad under Tomlin. That's to be expected. The defense is atrocious. Last 10 games, folks, for the podcast audience, think about this, those that are listening. The Pittsburgh Steelers have given up 27 points per game. That ranks 28th in the NFL. What are they, the dang Bengals? 375 yards total average given up per game. That's 29th in the NFL. 10 consecutive games of allowing 300 yards of offense. That is the longest streak currently in the National Football League. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Who has the highest paid defense in all of football? The Pittsburgh Steelers. In large part, because they think we can just win with old 2005 football. We can get after the quarterback, get a couple turnovers. By the way, which they did. Jalen Ramsey had a pick early. There was a play. Nick Herbig makes a play. Like, Steelers defense, in some respects of the game, did their job. Another feather in the cap. I said there were two. There were really three with Mike Tomlin. Number one, great motivator. Nonsense. That's playoff resume would tell you that. Number two, great defensive coach. I don't know. Steelers have been one of the worst defenses of football for some time now, for over a half season total stretch of sample size. The third of which, man, they just find a way to dig out these wins because they're great situationally. Can't even say that either. New kickoff rule, dynamic kickoff rule. Ball falls short of the goal line. You got to return. The ball rolls short of the goal line, rolls in the end zone. That's a live ball. Now you can say the kid, Caleb Johnson, I think is his name. You could say that that's a mistake on the rookie's part, rookie mistake. That's on Tomlin and the coaching staff to let him know that. Now, he touched the ball, so like even in the old rules, like that would have been a live ball. But let's say Caleb Johnson never touches the ball at all. Still a live ball. You know who did know it? The Seahawks, the younger coach. He knew it. Mike McDonald, his team knew that. The Steelers are not just Caleb Johnson. If you watch, the Steelers are jogging off the field. Okay, touchback, start at the 35-yard or the 30-yard line, 35-yard line. Seahawks are running like a bunch of crazy guys all the way to the football, jump on it, touchdown. It's a poorly coached team. It's a poorly motivated team. And the guy who is the defensive wizard, Mike Tomlin, boy, he's always got that defense ready to go. Can't even say that anymore. Put up the stat one more time. Just look at that bottom one. 10 consecutive games of allowing 300 yards of offense. Now, folks, the Bengals haven't done that. Think of your worst defense in the league. But I don't think Buffalo's that good. Buffalo hasn't done that. 300 yards of offense allowed. Longest streak in professional football. The whole thing that was supposed to piece this together was Mike Tomlin. TJ Watt got paid. Cam Hayward got paid. Got Patrick Queen a year ago. I get the secondaries beat up. I get it. You traded Minkah Fitzpatrick for reasons I'm not entirely sure. Jalen Ramsey's been solid. I'll give credit where it's due. He made the play last week against the Jets, had a pick this week. Jalen Ramsey's been fine. I got no real qualms thus far with that. But that's your calling card. It's kind of like Brandon. He's not as bad as Brandon Staley. I'm not going to overreact here. But it's like when Brandon Staley was with the Chargers and it was like, the fourth downs were bad and the misinterpretation of analytics was bad. But really what got Brandon Staley fired in the end is he's a defensive coach and his defense was atrocious. That's what got him fired. What's Tomlin's calling card? Can't say he's a motivator because, we can show you one more time how the Steelers start their playoff games. They're bad. This is Mike McCarthy is like, oh gosh, that's terrible. Mike McCarthy's known for, he doesn't get off to hot starts. Mike Tomlin's even worse. Defense is great. 10 straight games of giving up 300 yards. Situationally great. You had a guy botch a kickoff. Seattle's team, young coach and Mike McDonald, he was aware of it. Seahawks were aware of it. And even just, folks, this is even just the little things. And Steelers fans, folks that watch the game start to finish, you'll know. Okay. It's 14-7 at the end of the half. You're at your own, I think it was their own 20-yard line, if I remember correctly. It was off of a punt. There's, 15, 20 seconds left in the half. You're up 14-7. By the way, you get the ball to start the second half. You got momentum. Rodgers just threw a touchdown at DK. DK got a touchdown against his old team. Everybody's feeling good. You got a turnover off Darnold, and boy, the Steelers defense is rolling. Here we go. We feel good. We're about to be 2-0. And instead of taking a knee, some teams will be like, let's run the football, see what happens. And then if nothing happens, we'll just go to the half, go to the locker room. Knowing he has a terrible offensive line, he has Aaron Rodgers drop back and get sacked. Why does your 41-year-old quarterback have to take that hit? Aaron even kind of, and again, I've been critical of Aaron's leadership. Aaron kind of just looked at the sideline like, why did we just do that? There's a play in the second half. At midfield, 4th and short, punt. Doesn't use analytics, which I've always said about analytics. You should not make them, I've mostly said this for baseball than any sport, but they should not make every single decision. That's what hurt the Yankees in many instances, but you're a fool if you don't use them. They help you. Those numbers mean something. They're there to help you. Tomlin doesn't use analytics. Tomlin is not a good defensive coach. I mean, can't get the most highly compensated defense in the NFL to play better than it does, to not give up 300 yards in 10 straight games. He's not a good motivator. The question I ask is, what is the standard? That's what Tomlin says, right? The standard is the standard. What is the standard? What does that mean? Is that like a tangible thing, or is it just kind of a cliche quote that Tomlin tends to give more than once? I've said the only silver lining about Aaron Rodgers being in Pittsburgh, and again, Aaron was bad yesterday. Don't get it twisted. I can't even put yesterday on him because I kind of expect him to be old, 41, struggling to move because, he's 41, 2 years off of Achilles surgery, and his offensive line is bad. I expected that. I mean, he looks like he's running in quicksand. He's old. Father time's undefeated. Can't get that mad at Aaron. I expected the offense to be incompetent. But you're supposed to hold up your end of the bargain. The one silver lining of Aaron being in Pittsburgh, maybe it finally allows Steelers management to see the light. This coach is behind the times. This coach overvalues the wrong side of the ball. This coach cannot develop an offensive line. This coach does not value the quarterback position. If he did, he would not have traded a first-round pick in 2019 after an 0-2 start and a Big Ben injury for a safety, which eventually led to a class that featured Burrow, Tua, Herbert, Hurts, and Love. And the Steelers didn't have a first-round pick in that draft because they had to get a safety to make sure that defense was good and make sure that non-losing streak continued that nobody cares about. What is the standard? I've asked that for multiple years on the show. The standard is mediocrity. That's what the results show us. Highest paid defense in the NFL. And you've been did you see the Jets yesterday? Did you see that Justin Fields threw for 27 yards? Last week, he looked like freaking Lamar Jackson. I mean, what are we doing here? Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.